Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Radcast on the topic of solutions to abrupt climate change. This is the first Radcast in a series on this topic, and I'm happy to be joined by two colleagues. Jamie, great to see you. How are you doing this evening?
Really good. Really glad to be here.
Awesome. Great to have you.
Thank you.
And we're joined by Michael, our colleague Michael in Thailand. Michael, how are you doing this evening?
Doing well, thanks. Good to be here.
Awesome. Great to have you. All right. So solutions to abrupt climate change. Let me just kind of make a list. I think that'll help, of some of the main ones. Starting with the most urgent by far is geoshading. We need to forcibly cool the planet and prevent it from any further accelerations in heating. All right. The next one is fusion energy, essentially creating free electricity, free, clean electricity. Given the transformational impact that this would have, one can only wonder why on earth aren't governments of the world, research institutions pouring tens of billions of dollars into this, right? And I think the answer is clear. The oil and gas industry would collapse.
Yes, there's no question. I mean, you don't have to look any farther away than these wars that we keep getting into to conquer people so Americans can pay $3 for a gallon of gas. And it's ingrained in our system as much as breathing is ingrained in our human state. And it's a problem. They're not going to go away easily.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the leak in the Gulf, great example. They're fine. Don't worry about the turtles.
Yeah, totally. So fusion energy is a mega solution in that it'll help us to, in so many ways, but among others, to power the plants to sequester carbon at a massive scale, and also to do reverse osmosis on seawater and do all kinds of great stuff that we can do with essentially free energy. It'll be absolutely transformational. Another is holistic land management, which in the series that goes into that specifically, that branches from this one, we'll show videos from Alan Savory, and my interviewing Alan Savory a few years back, and just the multidimensional importance of that. And then fourth is we're going to go into political, cultural, and economic solutions to abrupt climate change. And here, I'll go on to the next page to talk about some of those. One would be the HUNGERLESS games, and I'll give a quick introduction to each of these. Another is a strategy to eliminate organized crime. We can look at the importance of that. Another is rallying the tech sector, which is what we're doing first week of September at the Microsoft campus. And finally, arcologies and intentional communities. A really big piece of the puzzle. All right.
Can I pop a carrot in here real quick?
Please, go for it.
On this branch, the political, cultural, circumstances, we need to include, it's a double component of getting people fed reliably. And because if they're hungry and there's a breakdown in their ability to hunt and gather at the grocery store, they're going to tribal up or do something. So part of the process has to be, as we go through this, ginning up a system to make sure everybody is fed and satisfied. It's going to be super hard to do, but they're not going to believe us that we can potentially solve this if in 3 weeks or 6 months the food supply drops.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make a difference what work we do when that happens. Follow me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cannibalism, who knows?
Yeah, totally.
That's over the cliff.
Yeah.
So that is something I think needs to be talked about and thought about as far as a solution. This list.
Right. Well, actually, you actually gave a great sort of segue into the Hungerless games, which is precisely a solution to that problem that you just mentioned. So let me screen share and just show some images and talk through the story of the Hungerless games. It's also top of the list for political, cultural, and economic solutions. Okay, so what's the Hungerless Games all about? It is about a, oh, whoops, I need to pop it over here. Okay, what is the Hungerless Games all about? It's about a virtuous cycle where we end hunger first in specific locations and then exponentially expand the model, building a global movement powered by a compassionate economy, which donates 100% of its profits to solving this problem first, and then taking surplus profits beyond what's required to amply and really fully end hunger, completely end hunger, no exceptions. Only once we've completely put out that fire do we, and we're just gushing with resources from the bountiful, compassionate economy, characterized by triple C. This just becomes a flywheel. Well, like, can you imagine, once we eliminate hunger in, say, Haiti, for example, right? What a story that's going to be, and how did that happen? And then, of course, everyone will want to buy triple C. So what's the essence of triple C? Really three main pillars. All profits of triple C companies in the compassionate economy donate all their profits to eradicating hunger, like we said. But in addition, they're socially transformational in everything they do and ecologically regenerative in everything they do. And so all profits would go to such programs and institutions as the Community Cafe, which we pioneered in Southern California. And literally just feeding entire communities for free, nutritious, wholesome foods sourced regeneratively from regenerative agriculture networks. So it's this truly utopian thing. And the first triple C company is none other than Sato Hemp, led by our brother, Takuya Sato, who leads the entire hemp industry of Japan. He is the hemperor of Japan. And so hemp is a great example of a material that's ecologically regenerative and also socially transformational. So anyway, just wanted to share that about the Hungerless Games as a solution. Anyway, any thoughts on that, gentlemen, before we carry on?
I would just want to I just want to say that this would go on the list of the world's, one of the world's least daunting problems. And yet, for the first time in decades, this decade has seen the stalling and in some cases the reversal of hunger. And, to Jamie's point, this is going to, this kind of, problem is going to unleash chaos in the face of abrupt climate change, precisely because these are not discrete problems. They're so tightly wound together that by dropping, dropping one end of the rope or the thread, could unravel the whole thing, right? We need to. It's not as though because it's oh well, people have always been hungry. Well, if we don't get ahead of this now, these kinds of solvable problems, as we're grappling, with the mega problem of climate change, it's just going to become the cause of so many other problems. right? And so this is, I think, an example of how we need a holistic approach.
Really well said. I couldn't agree more. I would also submit to you guys and to all the viewers here what Jamin and Michael just said. Now think about, I'm going to add this virtually insurmountable problem to the table I think we've talked about yet. As this is unfolding, we also are going to have to convert the stock exchange parallel to what else is happening to allow the transition of for-profit mega companies to retool. And what is it called when you go to Silicon Valley and I want to meet with angel investing? Is that what it's called?
Well, there's angel investing is the first level, and then venture capital.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so while these companies are being pulled by the teeth into this, you must change your model, and here's how we're going to do it. Everyone's going to pay a little bit for everything, or whatever. That's not for me to decide. But here's something to factor in. Wall Street has to have a reason to go along with this. And the reason is they're going to become, they're going to get out of the stock business and the SEC business, like we did Homeland Security, chopping Wall Street in half and taking away the stock values, pay the people a rate, and end that system, while we create the system of Wall Street's going to become the global venture capitalist that's going to fund, people are going to invest, and it's going to fund this. And we have to have that component because they're an obstacle. And the system is broken. The system is broken. It's led us here. Not that there wasn't enough on the plate.
Yeah. I think the key is transforming them from a code.
That's right. No, we have to walk them down the path. We have to find every resource we can to get the financial community to go, this is great, which is why we're going to the tech sector. Because after the tech sector takes it on, the financial people are going to run to help. Yeah. They're going to be incentivized. If a tech company takes us on, the financial people are going to call and go, we'd like to just send a representative. Yeah.
Right. So we really need to look at the whole thing holistically. I think that's the bottom line. But anyway, I wanted to share just a couple other things. We've already covered rallying the tech sector, so that's complete. I wanted to share another strategy that I mentioned. Let me just do a screen share here. Okay, so just to look at the list here, so far we've covered the HUNGERLESS. We've covered the HUNGERLESS games, and we've talked about rallying the tech sector. More on that actually in a moment, but just briefly, I want to talk about eliminating organized crime. And for that, let me just show this one image, which summarizes the strategy. Here in the state of Washington, I've had the honor of leading a movement to rid the state of all criminal drug cartels, and Jamie has been immensely supportive of that. Thank you, Jamie. And a lot of supporters, but most of whom don't want to be mentioned because there's an understandable fear. But anyway, once we knock out criminal drug cartels here in the state of Washington, and we establish a model, other states are going to follow. Of course. And once we take them out completely, not by taking out the people, to use the expression, but by eliminating the organizations, we will gain so much social and political capital that we'll be able to then expand the mandate to take out all forms of organized crime. Again, we lead here in the state of Washington and pioneer the way, or whichever other states want to share in that leadership, please do. And then with that, we finally pivot against taking out organized crimes against Mother Earth herself, right? Because with these first two, we really trained the human appetite for taking out organized crime.
Well, and to keep in mind, if we're successful at taking out, let's limit it to a small thing called a criminal drug cartel. It's very small in the big scheme of things, but they're very powerful. Mm-hmm. We have to incentivize them out of the illicit behavior. It has nothing to do with the drugs, because if toads could make them that kind of money, they'd be harvesting toads, okay? Because these are ruthless business people. So we've got to incentivize them out of this, because otherwise they'll stop with the drugs and they'll start by hoarding the food that we're trying to get to the people and that system. Because this is what they do. They find a commodity, human trafficking, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, stolen BMWs, and they commoditize it. And they'll do that to our food surpluses. We got to help them out, not a battle. We got to get them to come with us.
Yeah, totally.
Because they're just going to pivot.
Yeah.
It's confounding.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, we have to look at it holistically. We have to offer them an off-ramp from the destructive path that they've been on.
Well, ultimately, we're all in the same boat. So whether you agree with drug cartels or don't agree with them, you're going to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And you might have to bring a lot of big guys and tanks, but there's got to be a discussion.
Yeah.
Because they will become the warlords in Somalia if we don't address it.
Yep.
We're not having that.
No, you're right.
That'll be a tough one that I'll be working on, I guess.
Well, I'll be working on it. A lot of us will be working on it. But anyway, so let me just briefly cover the last one, which is arcologies. And has my pen gotten disconnected? Sorry. But anyway, arcologies and intentional communities. So just to show some images of this. Arcosanti in Arizona. Biosphere 2, not really an arcology, but just an interesting concept that we can learn lots from. Anyway, a lot of these are concepts, but one of the basic ideas is that we, it's a mashup between architecture and ecology, and intentional communities are a key part of it. Bottom line, it's transforming our footprint on Mother Earth from being net negative to net positive, and being stewards of the ecosystems and living in a whole new way, which is much more fulfilling and amplifying collective intelligence in the process. Anyway, just wanted to give these overviews of what we're going to be talking about in this series on solutions to abrupt climate change. Just some of the topics we'll start with, but there'll be many other topics. Comments, questions, gentlemen? None. Anything else to add? All right. Well, this has been awesome. Thanks so much, Michael, and thank you so much, Jamie. And thank you all for watching and participating. We look forward to your comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.